All right. Well, hi everybody, and thanks for coming to our inaugural session, our kickoff session for Lit. Um, we've got a lot going on here, and a lot of cool things happening today. This is an actual like hands-on and get working and doing things today kind of opportunity. Doug, thanks for getting it started. How about everybody in the chat? Go ahead and introduce yourself. Um, what you're working on, where you work, where you're from, what your weather is like, what you need from the world. Are you looking for a job? Are you looking to hire somebody? Are you looking for a tool? We can start that communication and collaboration here. Plus, we'll have a bunch of links as we go. I want you to get used to using the chat today because there's going to be a lot of links and stuff and good opportunities to get engaged. Um, I am, gosh, it's just awesome to see you all. I'll tell you just a little bit of a story and then we'll get started. In gosh, Matt 2014, 2015, participated in when ADL, so the Defense Department's Advanced Distributed Learning Group, hosted what they called xAPI design cohorts. And the idea was come together, learn playfully together, and really kind of put this new data specification through its paces. What could it do? Where were the holes? What were the good ideas that emerged when we moved out of a SCORM space and into an xAPI space? And it was fantastic. I mean, learning nerd to learning nerd, it was one of the most exciting learning experiences I've ever been in, and got the opportunity to learn, play, make something cool. And at the end of that experience, there was an in-person conference, and I went to, and I remember sitting there, and a few weeks after that, talking with Craig Wiggins, who had hosted that group, and he said, "Yeah, we've decided it is no longer our mission to build community around data structures." And I thought, oh, 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 you can't do this to me. Like this peak career experience, this peak learning experience. It was incredible. And they weren't going to do it again because I was spinning up the next set of ideas for this. So we decided it's kind of like going to the grocery store hungry. We, I said, I just sat there in this moment and I thought, somebody's got to make this happen. And the next thought that came into my head said, I can make this happen. And the thought that should come into your head that said, who the heck do you think you are? And what time do you think you're going to do this? That thought didn't come and we just ran with it. So we hosted xAPI Learning Cohort for 7 years. The Learning Guild hosted it for 2 more years. That's a total of 7 to 18 semesters because we did it twice a year. 18 semesters of free learning about xAPI. Super cool stuff. I actually know many of the people on this call from those conversations and that learning and that community. We printed stickers and t-shirts and had all sorts of stuff. And here's the thing, right? One of the coolest parts of that experience was the project-based learning. You got to make something and do something or watch somebody make and do something, which is almost as good and a lot more fun because you don't have to do any work. And it was such a fantastic experience. But every single one of those projects was xAPI and something else, xAPI and e-learning, xAPI and Zoom, literally, xAPI and Slack, xAPI and Alexa, xAPI and video, xAPI and learning management systems and getting them all to talk to each other. Hytham did an xAPI plus Raspberry Pi, like all sorts of stuff, right? And here we were focusing on, which was appropriate at the time, right? The xAPI, but not all the ands. And so now we're flipping it. We're talking about all the ands. This is going to sound crazy. I'm going to wait for the lightning to strike me down. It doesn't even have to involve xAPI, right? I just want to play with technology and I want to make a place where people can play with technology, see great technology, make some scrappy technology, do some stuff. So I'm glad that you all are here to experience this and to kick this off and play along with us. So LIT, Learning, Innovation, and Technology, gives us the opportunity to say, man, this is lit. And I really like that a lot. Hey, Cecilia, good to see you. Um, the we're going to do things differently. So if you're like xAPI cohort, xAPI, what are all these things? What is this cohort? What's going on? Don't worry, because we're actually taking the same vibe and hands-on learning and excitement and shocking amounts of caffeine and we're taking what we learned and we're doing things a little bit differently. So we've got a few things going on. I want to share those with you today, and get you actually started in this session with what you may be working on during this 2 week or 3 session labs. Um, Jamie, Meg, Hoda, Shima, this takes a team to pull together. So I wanted to introduce you very quickly. Meg Fairchild, I'll let you go first, and then Jamie, Hoda, and then Shima. Introduce yourself and kind of what your part in all this might be.
Hi, yeah, I'm Meg Fairchild. I have worked with Megan off and on for like close to a decade or thereabouts. And so, yeah, I'm here. I've been kind of behind the scenes trying to help Megan with like, okay, what is this next iteration of things going to look like, and forming ideas and just trying to pull everything together. So we kicked this off a little bit earlier in the year with what we called This Party is Lit in January. So I was a big part of that. Also did a couple of sessions. I know Kurt was at one of those where we kind of dug in and said like, okay, well, what was cohort in the past, and how can we, what ideas do we have going forward? So we called that like a jam session. So did some of that. So lots of ideation kind of going on. And now I'm here to support you in all the things as we move forward with Lit Lab, and then everything to come, which we'll talk about later. So that's me. Jamie, you're up.
Hi, everyone. I know quite a few faces, but I'm Jamie, and I have actually just surpassed my first half decade with Megan. I'm on her marketing team and just kind of general support. Previously, when we were running the xAPI cohort, I was one of the main producers. So I was really excited when we started talking about doing this lit community, having the opportunity to do that. So that's one of my primary roles in this case is kind of tech support, ward off the Zoom gremlins. So if you need any help, you can let me know. And then also kind of behind the scenes helping with supporting communications, getting notices out to you and out to the rest of the world. And we are going to be doing some recordings and have some more links for you. So I'll be involved in making sure everybody has what they need. So that's me. How about Hoda? You ready?
Hi everyone, thank you so much. Hi everyone, I'm Hoda and I'm a UX UI designer. And actually, this is the first time that I'm collaborating with dear Megan. And honestly, it's a great opportunity for me to learn from her and from her amazing team. So I'm trying to be in the back of the scene and support some UX, UX of this kind of events, and also this kind of a collaboration is more learning experience for me, and the main goal for me is to learn more and have some fun and engage the creative process and creative thinking to the process. Thank you so much.
Hello everyone, I'm Shima. I'm a user experience designer, and I'm very happy because I have the chance to collaborate with dear Megan and her professional team. Dear Megan is my best friend, and also is my mentor. And our focus is on innovation, and we are trying to apply innovation in learning experiences. So I'm here to support you, and just this. Thank you so much.
Awesome. So if you were around for xAPI cohort or you've ever tried to wrangle a whole bunch of people moving in a million different directions, you will understand why it takes a team. So you will not only hear from this team, but it'll also be an opportunity for you to support each other. And that was some of the most amazing stuff about prior cohorts is people's ability to jump in and help each other, and build networks and build friendships, build professional careers. And some of the highlights of my career was when people I know meet each other because they know each other in these communities, and then they get like build jobs and careers and go off and do amazing things. So that's just super, super cool. I'm loving it. More and more folks are rolling in. This is great. I'm so glad we're recording so the beginning of this gets a good kickoff. I don't want to spend the whole time talking. So I'm going to give us a quick orientation and then turn it over to you all so that you can jump in. So we're not sharing this link yet on purpose because I know what happens when you give 25 or 30 people a link and then they all go off. So not my first rodeo, everybody. So but we will have two main spaces for collaboration during Lit Labs. One is this Miro board, and the other is we'll be using the old xAPI cohort Slack. So hang tight on those links specifically, but we have those spaces available for us. These are free spaces, which means because they're free, there's some limitations. But did I mention they're free? This is free. So we're trying to do this nice and scrappy. And free means it's accessible and available to more people. So here's a cool thing about Miro. If you didn't know it, if you click once on this deck, this is actually a PowerPoint deck. And so now I can scroll through here, which means you can too. Um, and that means all of the information that we have available, that we're sharing, will stay available here in this Miro board, and you can come back to it in the future. So LIT, Learning, Innovation, and Technology, right? We want to welcome you to a really vibrant and supportive and super, this is slightly nerdy. It really should say super nerdy community. Lovely nerds. We love you all. And really want to be pushing the limits, right? Pushing the edges of learning technology. I love me a good e-learning module, like there's no tomorrow. But I'd like us to be thinking, how do we bust out of that? How do we push the boundaries of that? How do we make that more than, well, have you ever sat on a bus or a plane or gone to a picnic and somebody says, what do you do? And you say, I make e-learning modules. And like, ooh, kind of like, right? Being the person who makes the e-learning that most people take, because the e-learning most people take is not that great, it does not make you a super popular person. I'd like all of us to be pushing those edges and pushing those boundaries. And yeah, I did say it, right? So there's three things we're going on here, and you don't have to be a part of, well, any of it, but you're here. So I'm assuming you want to be part of some of it. There are actually three distinct experiences.
I'm Roscar. This week we're continuing
So Lit Lab is a 2-week, I'm going to call it hackathon. So if you remember xAPI cohorts and they had projects, think of that project, but instead of a 10-week project, it's a 2-week project. It is super focused, super scrappy, and that's what we're kicking off today. We will be forming teams today, starting all of that. And believe it or not, it works. I've already pilot tested this model. Lit spotlights, think of these as webinars that are more cool than a webinar, that involve networking and some social time afterwards. But hearing from people and bringing to this community some really inspiring voices in learning tech. If you think you've got a talk for us in learning tech, then go ahead and submit that to us. I'll give you an email address at the end here. Um, and we'll have several this fall, and then we'll be running all this, by the way, again in the spring semester. And then This Party is Lit, which is a conference with a way better name than a conference. That will be in Southeast Michigan in November. And so that's an in-person. Lit Lab and Lit Spotlights are free, online, recorded, and we want as many people as possible to come. This Party is Lit is in person. It is not hybrid. There are no virtual sessions. We're going to celebrate what happens when we get people together face to face in an actual room. Part of that is food, so we'll be eating. Part of that costs money, so we'll be charging a little bit. And I realize not everybody will be able to get to that, which is why we have spotlights in between. Dates, you can put these on your calendar. You can also watch your email. We'll be sending them out to you. Lit Lab happens over 3 dates this September. Spotlights start in October. And This Party is Lit is in November, on November 21st. And MVP Collaborative is in Troy, Michigan. So those of you who are my local Michigan folks, or it's an easy flight into Detroit Metro Airport. So we'd love to see you for that. Mentioned it a couple times. Did I say this is free? This is free. It's nimble, it's accessible, it is recorded, open. There are no barriers to entry. You don't have to know anything. You can join us. Our in-person events, like I said, will include food, and we've got lots of different ways to communicate. So I want to make sure that we're all like really, really in touch with each other and have an opportunity to do that. I want you to know that the hosts support you, all 4 of us support you, but it's your engagement, your participation, your energy and enthusiasm, your sharing this out on social media that makes this happen. Robbie, super question. I do not have Slack. Will I miss important notifications? Not necessarily. If you have email, we will send you things like notices of events and links to recordings and all sorts of other good stuff. What you may miss out on some of the intra-team communication. And if you are able to get Slack, I know in the past some people, they couldn't get Slack at work, but they use Slack on their personal phones or something like that for their learning. I love that you are all sharing out your LinkedIn connections and links. So by all means, do that. Get connected up with each other, and connect out with me. So I love this. Keep questions coming in Slack. We will support you there. We'll also send out links and stuff to Slack afterwards. But today we're in Miro. In a moment, I will send you a link to this board. But first, what I want to do is show you what we've got going on. So Lit Labs is going to happen on this board. At any time you want to get back up to the PowerPoint, you just head on up there. But underneath that is our Lit Labs home. So this is how this is going to work. Right? Today we're kicking off, we're getting started. You're going to come in, you're going to form teams, you're going to find a project, and get connected. And one of the things you'll also do is decide how you're going to meet up next, or the next couple of times. In between now and next Thursday, go ahead, work, do some stuff, work out loud. The more you put on Miro, the more other people can see it and connect with what you're doing, add their thoughts. I'll show you how that's possible. Maybe join in the fun, right? And then next week we'll all come, we'll do a midpoint check-in. We'll have a little bit of time to work, but also just a quick overview of what you're doing and what you've found out. And maybe you need more teammates or some help on something, or just people to test a particular thing. You'll then have another week building, testing, working, getting some stuff around. By the way, at the end of 2 weeks, you will not have a finished, commercially viable, ready product that you can quit your day job and make tons of money selling. At the end of 2 weeks, you'll probably have something scrappy that kind of works as long as all the conditions are right, that kind of doesn't work in other places, and we're all just going to suspend disbelief and let it go and have a bunch of ideas for you. So the whole point is we're doing some scrappy, fun experiments, and in some cases, the things that don't work are actually the places that all of us get to learn a whole lot from. So it's a-okay. I will encourage you to think about and add to these boards, why participate in a hackathon style learning? What not to do? By the way, don't sell to your teammates. Don't take on too big a project. Don't take on too small a project. So, and don't require people to buy software. Other than that, there's not a lot of rules. Right? So here's what we've got. We've got some project starter ideas. Take a quick look here. You'll come back here. You can use one of these starter ideas, or you can dream up your own. Come up with your own idea. I know a few of you may, because I've talked to you in advance, may come with ideas. Go ahead and do that. Oh, by the way, the ideas do not have to involve artificial intelligence. It is a-okay, believe it or not, in learning technology to not use AI. Totally fine. We have a questions board. Here's how this questions board works. Okay. How do I communicate with my team? And then you click the flip and it says on the Miro board, drop notes to each other, leave your email address so they can find you. So your frequently asked questions, or probably going to be frequently asked questions, may be here, including who do I contact for when is my team meeting? Leave your email address on your team board. Technical questions. Ask your team. Our lit team is not staffed for tech support. Okay. Who do I contact for issues about lit labs? Actually, I'm going to edit this. There we go. Lit at TorranceLearning. Awesome. Okay. So real-time answers here, and then flip your card back when you're done doing it. Here's how this will work. Say you've got an idea. You're like, oh, I like this smarter feedback loops idea. Huh, that's cool. I'm going to copy this idea, write it here in my project challenge. I have identified a team. If I get here and this frame 1, do you see it says frame 1 at the top is already filled up? I'm going to scroll down and I'm going to keep moving until I get to a blank team. Once I've claimed a team, I'm going to flip over the card that says this is an active project, join us. And I'm going to give my team a name, and I've got my little bear character so I can remember it. I've got the blue ideas, and you can fill out some of these boxes, these planning grids, to help you get started. You all are super fun, creative people who know how to get things done. Otherwise, you wouldn't be here. So we're going to get you started, but then after that, we trust you to take this project where it needs to go. If you're surfing over the coming 2 weeks and you've got ideas, go ahead and drop ideas and encouragement to people who are working. Go ahead and do that. That's a great way to get your ideas and cheer each other on. If you're like, oh my gosh, I don't have a team name or an idea, I don't know what I want to do, that's okay. Sit back for a little bit, right? Sit back for a little bit, surf the board, wait till somebody else puts on a project challenge, and then you can join their team. Right? So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put the Miro board in the link. Oh my gosh, was I sharing my screen that whole time? Oh, thank goodness. I was assuming somebody'd yell at me if I wasn't. I was like, oh my gosh. All right. Putting the Miro board in the chat. Stay here in Zoom. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to open up breakout rooms. So say you get to a point, don't join a breakout room yet. Say you're like, oh, I found frame 3 and I'm going to work on, I don't know, a project related to personalized learning pathways. And you spike frame 3. Come back into Zoom, click the join breakout rooms and go to breakout room 3. Meg, jump right in here. You have something you want to add to those instructions?
Did I?
Oh, no, sorry. I read too much into the like. All right, so you do not need a Miro account to do this. So if it asks you if you want to have an account or have a guest, you want to be a guest, I'm not buying you a Miro license. I love you all. You're my new best friends, but I'm not buying you a Miro license. And I'm going to stop talking so you can get working and looking across the board. But if anybody has questions, come on back, take yourself off mute and just ask. I will put 15-minute timer up on the board too. All right. Is everybody back from? No, not everybody's back yet. All right. There's everybody. Welcome back, everybody. This is one of those things that's always a little bumpy at first, and then it all kind of settles out and happens. So it was really exciting to see all sorts of good teams out there getting started and things forming up. I will recommend, if you've got a few minutes after this, go ahead and keep filling out some stuff on your board. Save the link to this Miro board. We'll also send it out in the post, the weekly email that'll come out soon. If your group wants to use Slack to communicate, you can join the Slack channel with the link I just put in. That will also be sent out via the email that's coming. And if you are a former xAPI cohort person, you will say, oh my gosh, this is the old Slack. Yes, it is. The Learning Guild let us use it. So that was a nice offer from them. This is probably, actually, Meg, can you share out some of what you just shared while people were still in breakout rooms around emails and finding and more people coming in and whatnot?
Sure, yeah. So some people were in the breakout room while I said this, but the beginning part is recorded. This part here at the end is recorded. So we're gonna post this out to, we had close to 250, 300 people who said, hey, keep me informed about what's happening with LIT. And so that gives an opportunity for everybody who's this time exactly, 11 a.m. Eastern time on a Thursday, this Thursday didn't work for everybody. So then they can watch that, they can get the gist, they get the intro, they get the instructions for how to get to the Miro board and how the teams work. They will then hop into Miro throughout this week and start looking at all these teams that you all have started setting up. So even if you didn't actually get everything like off the ground today, more people are coming. That's why it's important to have at least one person's name and contact info in there. And then what you should do now is start figuring out, when are you going to meet again as a team? Is there another day this week or early next week? where you want to come back together and start really formulating your ideas and tackling this challenge that you've decided to solve. So leaving that green side up, as long as your team remains active, will help other people who are coming in asynchronously find your team and then know when your next meeting is. So you could even drop the meeting invite, whether if you prefer Teams, you can do that. Obviously, it would be your own Teams account, your own Zoom account. There's lots of different options. Slack also has huddles. So if you're like, I don't have a license for any of these things, great, use the huddles, and Slack will make sure that is cleaned up for you. And I'm going to add all these teams that we currently have a name for. I'm going to add those in as a channel in Slack. And I will try to at the very least, add anybody who's indicated that they want to be a part of that team. I'm going to try to add you into those channels so you all have a way to find each other without disrupting the rest of my day. So I'm going to do that real quick, and hopefully more people will find you throughout the week.
I'm pretty stoked because there are 10 teams that got started today. And that's a pretty exciting place to launch Lit. There's lots more to come. This is just a 2-week burst. So get in there, play around, have some fun. And if and it's totally normal to have some team churn. So all of you who study team dynamics, forming, norming, storming, performing, we're in the forming, and we have a very compressed timeline to get through all the rest of the parts of that model. So I'm looking forward to this. Reach out if you have questions or need help. Reply to the email or excuse me, raise a flag. We'll be surfing the board every few days to just see how things are going. Yeah, okay. So tried to add a name on mobile devices, particularly if you're on a tiny mobile device like a phone, are really hard for Miro. So that is the one bummer of that. But once you get back to a desktop, it works a whole lot easier. Everyone, I just want to say thank you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for believing in this. Thanks for starting something new. If this is your first time, thanks for coming back. If you're somebody I've known forever, Joan, it's just great to have this community back together and get to do some really, really cool stuff together. So we can stop the recording. We'll send out the recording. We will see you online. And we'll see you back here next week. Thanks, everybody. Have fun with this. Go make something cool.
Awesome. Can I add one final instruction? If you are done using a frame because you thought maybe we'll start a team here, and then you change your mind to decide to join another team or something like that, if you flip that card back over to the white side so that other people know that that space is available to be used by somebody else, that would be super helpful. Thank you.
Bye, everybody. Hoda, Shima, Jamie, Meg, thanks.
Thank you. Bye-bye.